You know what confuses me? The concept of authenticity. Because I feel like everybody wants to be authentic. You want to be completely yourself. You want to put yourself first. You want to put yourself forward, but at the same time, you're also supposed to look out and care about other people's feelings. That's not an issue. However, I keep having this like constant thought process of like morals and what somebody was raised to believe is right. So, if you're a kamikaze pilot or you are a suicide bomber, what makes you happy is the act of killing other people in order to give yourself to that high power. Because that's what you were taught from when you were a young age, that is what life is. That's what like makes you succeed. That makes you fulfilled, right? Even though you're bringing death and harm onto other people. So it's like, at what point do you say being authentic? I know that's an extreme circumstance, but I like to talk about extreme circumstances because that is reality. Like, at what point do you say, okay, me being authentic actually is doing more damage than me not being authentic, if that makes any sense? So it's like, when you're with a friend or when you're in a relationship or something, you obviously want to speak up to the partner and talk about, or your friend, and talk about whatever things like wrong that you have going on, but you're still trying to spare them at the end of the day. And it's just like, you want to tell the person how you feel, but you have to spare them. So it's like, everybody says be authentic until you have to be authentic. Does that make sense? I don't get it, because then when you're authentic, you're not caring enough about other people's feelings. And nobody said this to me. I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about this because it just doesn't, I don't know, like it's so difficult for me to be able to like conceptualize that, because I mean, another thing is like, what if the authentic version of you, I don't even want to, never mind, that's bad. I can't fucking put that shit that I want to say on the internet, because if I say what I want to say, people are going to scrutinize me and I might not get a job because of what I was about to say. Like, the fact that I have to care about that while not fully being myself, it's so, like, bullshit. I don't, and I'm trying to find a way to like be okay with that, but I can't, like, it's so hard for me to. I don't know, it's just like weird, because I can't fully be myself on the internet without fearing that, like, oh my god, I might not get a job. And I was talking to somebody, I go to like a existential group therapy every Wednesday, which is awesome, by the way, but they were like, you have to find out that line of what you're willing to push. Okay, my battery died, so it is back on. But I think what I was trying to say, this is 5 minutes after I did that. I think what I was trying to say is you have to find that line of whether or not what you care about, you are willing to not care about the consequences, to fully be yourself. And at the end of the day, if somebody loves you, then they're going to love you for all of you, which I think then comes into the conversation of vulnerability, which ultimately I don't have a fear of within people, but I have a fear of vulnerability within relationships, because I feel like then you are putting yourself out there in order for you to get hurt, but you would never be able to accept love without the willingness to get hurt. So, yeah, which you have to be vulnerable, which I'm starting to learn. It's very hard, but Hannah makes it easier. She's awesome. Anyways, that's my point. Authenticity is hard, especially when you have to fear the consequences. And I talk to people about that, and it's like, there's no freedom of speech because if you say these things, you might not get a job or you might fuck yourself for the future. And it's like, yeah, exactly. I mean, there still is a freedom of speech, but is there really? And then that's where the moral conversation sorts of comes in. Because if I'm a public relations or a hiring manager and somebody that I go to hire says some crazy shit on the internet, I probably wouldn't want to hire them either. So I get it. Honestly, like, I completely understand it. So it's just like, it's such a weird concept to think about because it's like you don't want to show all of yourself. But if anybody is still here, I think a very cool and important part of being able to show your full self is within art. I think, like for me, say I want to tell a story or say something about myself that I might fear that, you know, oh my god, I have to worry about the future. If I put it into an art form, then I feel like it's a lot more comfortable and a lot more willing. Like, people will see that and think, oh, it's just art. So I think that's like a get around. So if I want to make like a really fucked up horror story about somebody getting their like eyes gouged out, stomach gutted, excuse me, that's just I love horror, so that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like, if I say that, then it's, oh my god, but if I put that in art and I put that in like a horror movie or something, it's like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? But I mean, obviously people are going to look at it and think it's crazy. But like, it's a lot more open for it to be art. Like, if you look at what's that one dude name? The Campbell Soup dude. I went to the Museum of Sex and he made some weird shit. And I don't know, like I was looking at that stuff. I still think if I made that, then yeah, I'm probably not going to get a job. But it's art. You know what I mean? But like anything's art. Just fucking stupid. Like, I can take a picture of this. That's why I made that Art Entities account on Instagram where I just took pictures of like random stuff and said it was art. So, I put this right here. Oh my god. This is art because this ring, this represents the ring of fire and this battery brings power to the people. So, because this battery is in the middle of the ring of fire, it's like going through so much tension, and that way it ends up powering itself to be strong and provides love and whatever to the people. And like, I see that and oh my god, I just think like I feel so empowered. And it's supposed to represent Adam and Eve because I don't know, you understand what I'm saying. People can look at anything and come up with some bullshit story. So regardless, I think that's all I gotta say. Bye bye. Mwah.